Hello children, today we are going to discuss about flames. You are seeing a candle flame here on the board. Okay, but one thing I would like to tell you, everything that burns does not produce a flame. Only substances that vaporize burn with a flame. Like in case of candle, when a candle burns, hot molten wax rises up in the wick and vaporizes. The wax vapor burns with the flame. Other hand, charcoal does not vaporize and burns without a flame. It produces only a glow. Children, when there is a sufficient supply of oxygen, the substances burn completely, producing blue flame. Okay, or non-luminous, like you have seen in homes. You have seen that cooking gas is there. The gas which we use, that is LPG. Okay, so you have seen LPG burn with the blue flame. In and other case, in an insufficient supply of oxygen, a flame of yellow color is obtained like this. Okay, this is because the glowing of unburned carbon atoms. Okay. Now we are going to discuss candle flame. A candle has two parts. First is the wax. This is what? Paraffin wax. That serves as fuel. It is a hydrocarbon obtained from petrol. Second, the wick, made of a material that can absorb liquids, like it is made of cotton. Okay, that absorbs liquid. When a candle is lighted, the wax in and near the wick. Okay, here the wick absorbs due to heat. The wax turn into liquid. The wick absorbs the liquid wax and pulls it upward. The heat of the flame vaporizes the wax. Up here, what happened? The vaporization of wax takes place. It is this wax vapor that burns. Okay. Now, one thing comes in our mind: why does the wick not burn? This is because when the wax vaporizes, it takes heat from the wick and cools it. This is similar to the reason why the paper cup in the activity 3 I had told you does not burn. The same way, this cools down and does not burn. Now, when we have lighted a candle, after lighting the candle, we are going to observe the flame very carefully. We will find that it is spindle shaped and has 4 main regions. I have mentioned here those regions, and one by one we are going to discuss those regions. First is the non-luminous zone, or the zone of complete combustion. Because of complete combustion, this is the hottest part of the candle flame. It is the outermost zone of the flame. Because of adequate supply of oxygen, complete combustion takes place here. The flame appears blue, however it is very thin. Like here we are able to see, but it is very thin and may not be visible. And this zone is hottest zone. Come to the second one, the luminous zone from which we get the light, or this is the zone of incomplete combustion. Is moderately hot, not very hot, it is moderately hot. It is the middle zone of the flame. The wax vapors do not burn completely. Why? Because of the insufficient supply of oxygen. Okay, the carbon particle present here, produced because of incomplete combustion, glow. These particles, they glow and give yellow color, giving this zone its bright yellow color. The flame leaves black soot on an object placed in this zone. Third is this dark zone, or the zone of no combustion. is the least hot because no combustion is taking place. Why? Because of the oxygen. This zone is not getting oxygen. It is not. The vapors do not come in contact with oxygen, hence do not burn. This zone you are seeing this is blue zone. The blue zone is a small region at the base of the wick. Here the carbon monoxide is produced in the inner zone. Okay. Due to incomplete combustion, burns with the blue color. So the carbon monoxide again here, it completely burns and produces blue color. So this is called blue zone. Okay. Now children, we are going to discuss, so all four zones we have discussed. Now we are going to discuss calorific value of fuel. Very important calorific value. First, what is calorific value? Calorific value of a fuel can be defined as the amount of heat liberated when 1 kilogram of fuel is completely burned in sufficient supply of air. In the sufficient supply of air. We are going to discuss some fuel like how much energy they produce, and we measure energy in joules, kilojoules. Okay, per kg. So wood first is cow dung cake, produces very less, like 7,000 kilojoule per kg. Wood 17,000 to 22,000 kilojoule per kg. Per kg I am telling you. Coal 25,000 to 33,000 per kg, kilojoule per kg. Charcoal 32,000 kilojoule per kg. Petrol 45,000 kilojoule per kg. Diesel also same like petrol. LPG 50,000 kilojoule per kg. Hydrogen gas 1,50,000 kilojoule per kg. Okay, children. So we are seeing that hydrogen is producing large amount of gas, or largest we say. So scientists are working on using hydrogen as fuel because it reduces in 1 kilo. We are getting 1,50,000 kilojoule. Okay. So scientists are working on using hydrogen as a fuel as it has the highest calorific value. And it is also non-polluting fuel. Some success has been achieved and hydrogen is expected to be the fuel of the future. Now children, we are going to discuss characteristics of good fuel. Characteristics of good fuel. What are the characteristics? The heat liberated by a fuel is measured, as we know, in kilojoule. A fuel is considered good if it has low ignition temperature. Second, produces a large quantity of heat, that is, its calorific value is high. Third, has a moderate rate of combustion. Fourth, is safe to store, handle and transport. Next, does not cause pollution. Next, leaves behind little or no residue after being burned, is cheap and easily available. Natural gas best meets all these conditions. That is why for domestic purposes we are using this. Now our next topic is types of fuels. Fuels are of three types: solid, liquid and gaseous fuels. Solid fuels, example of solid fuels are wood, coal, cattle dung, cake and bagasse, that is dry part of sugar cane from which we extract juice. Next is liquid, that is kerosene, LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, fuel gas, petrol, diesel, etc. Gaseous fuel are natural gas, coal gas, water gas, producer gas, biogas, acetylene, etc. Natural impact of burning fuel on the environment. Very important. Very important. Impact of burning fuel. On environment. First is SPM. We also call it suspended particulate matter. Burning of carbon containing fuels releases ash and fine particle of unburnt carbon in the air. These fine particles are called suspended particulate matter, are dangerous pollutants. Second is carbon dioxide. Combustion of fuels adds carbon dioxide to the environment. A percentage increase in carbon dioxide in the air leads to the greenhouse effect, which can cause global warming. This can result in melting of the polar ice caps and rise in sea levels, leading to flooding of large portion of land on the sea coast. Next is carbon monoxide. This is poisonous in nature. It is produced when insufficient supply of oxygen is there. It's very dangerous pollutant and can cause death if breathed in. Okay, it is toxic or poisonous in nature. Next is sulfur dioxide. Coal contains sulfur which reduces sulfur dioxide on burning. Besides being a poisonous gas, it dissolves in rain to form sulfuric acid. This gives rise to acid rain, which is very harmful for soil, crops, building, etc. After sulfur dioxide, next is oxides of nitrogen. NO2, oxides of nitrogen N2O. Okay. Given off from exhausted of engines of vehicles are poisonous gas. Many vehicles now use catalytic converter to convert these to harmful gases. Now, next is lead compounds. Lead compounds are released in exhausts of vehicles. They are poisonous. Increasing use of unleaded petrol is expected to reduce lead pollution. Okay, so lead is there in petrol and all. So now people, they are motivated to use unleaded petrol. Now the other effects on the environment are as follows. First is oil spills. From oil tankers transporting petroleum have resulted in widespread pollution in the sea, leading to the death of a large number of aquatic animals as they do not breathe because of this oil spill. Next, dams. They are also cause of hazard for environment. They are constructed over rivers to produce hydroelectricity, cause large area of land to get filled up with water. This displaces several people from their homes and leads to the destruction of habitats of a large number of flora and fauna. And also beside these things, dams increase the chances of earthquakes. Next is radiation pollution. Very important. Extremely dangerous radiation pollution can be caused by nuclear power plants. An accident in such a plant can lead to radiation pollution over a vast area. Okay, children. Now, that's all for this lesson. Thank you, children.